Hey everyone, enjoy the story and don't forget to let us know in the comments where you're watching from. I was with Tasha for 6 years, married for 3. We bought a small house in a quiet neighborhood just outside of Phoenix. Nothing fancy, just a starter place. Brick wall backyard, 2-car garage, nosy neighbors, the usual. We didn't have any kids yet, but we were trying. Or I thought we were. Our neighbor to the left, Jeremy, moved in about a year ago. Mid-30s, divorced, worked from home. He had one of those stupid, punchable faces, always walking around shirtless, mowing his lawn, waving at everyone like he owned the block. But whatever, I didn't care. I wasn't friends with him, but I nodded when I saw him. That's it. Now here's where things started getting weird. Tasha worked part-time at a dental office. She used to text me during the day, memes, random stuff, one-word responses to stuff I sent her. Then that dropped off. I'd text and get nothing for hours. Then her outfit started changing. At home, she was always in sweats or oversized tees, but now she was wearing tight jeans, makeup, even when she wasn't going anywhere. I asked her once, "Where are you going looking like that?" She laughed. "Nowhere, just wanted to feel cute." All right, I let it go. Fast forward a few weeks. I come home early from work. She didn't know. I'd been covering for someone on night shift, and my schedule changed last minute. I walk in, house is quiet, but the back door's open. That's weird. I go through the kitchen, look out into the backyard, and there she is, on a lawn chair, laughing with Jeremy. She's in a bikini, sitting way too close to him. He's shirtless, again, leaning in like he's telling her something secret. I froze for a second, then opened the door louder than I needed to. They both jumped. Jeremy stood up fast. "Oh, hey man, didn't know you were home." I didn't answer. I looked at Tasha. She smiled, but it was forced. "I was just chatting with Jeremy. It's hot out." I stared at her, then him. Said nothing. Just turned around and went to take a shower. I was already sweating from work, and now I was boiling. But I didn't say anything. Not yet. That night I asked her, "How often do you talk to Jeremy?" She shrugged. "He's just a neighbor. Sometimes we wave. That's it." Lie. So I started watching. Every time I left for work, I'd check back an hour later using my ring cam. I had 2, one on the front, one on the... That's how I caught it. One Tuesday, I left for work, drove around the corner, parked, and walked back. I had my hoodie up, took a side route, and stayed out of the cam view. I posted up across the street behind a tree. An hour later, he came over. Didn't knock. He just walked through the back gate. Like he belonged there, like he'd done it 100 times. And 5 minutes after that, her bikini top was hanging off the patio chair. I'm not even exaggerating. I have the screenshot. I took a zoomed pic from my phone. They were sitting on the same chair, her legs across his hands all over her face buried in his neck. I wanted to storm the house right then, but I didn't. I waited, watched, timed everything. He left after 40 minutes. Shirt back on, trying to act casual, I took another pic. I wanted proof. That night, I asked her again, "You talked to Jeremy today?" She didn't even blink. "No, haven't seen him." I nodded. That's when I knew. She was deep in it. Not just a slip-up. She was lying straight to my face, eyes calm, voice steady, like she practiced it. So I set up the second part of the plan. I told her I was going out of town for work next Thursday to Sunday, conference in Vegas. She said, "Cool, I'll have the place to myself." Way too cheerful, but I didn't leave. I parked my car at my coworker's place, took an Uber back. I had a key to the side neighbor's house. He's an old guy, barely home, and he lets me water his plants when he's away. He owed me a favor. I stayed there from Thursday afternoon to Friday morning. And yeah, he came over again. This time, he stayed the night. I watched them from the back window. Curtains wide open. She wasn't even trying to hide it anymore. They made out in the kitchen, on the couch, in the backyard. Again. I recorded all of it. When I tell you I had to grit my teeth so hard my jaw locked, I mean it. I was holding my phone so tight I thought the screen would crack. She was moaning his name, not even being quiet about it. That's the moment I realized she never respected me, not even a little. Next morning, I walked in through the front door while they were both passed out. Her in her robe, him shirtless again. Man looked like a stray dog on my couch. I didn't even yell. I went straight to the bedroom, opened the curtains, and said, "Hope you two had fun." She jolted up like she'd seen a ghost. He reached for his pants. I tossed the phone on the bed. "Don't bother denying it," I said. "It's all on video." She went pale, then red, then back to pale. Jeremy tried to speak. Yo, man, it just happened. I cut him off. Nah, shut up. I saw you sneak in 3 times. You don't accidentally screw someone 3 times while her husband's at work. He stayed quiet. I told her I wanted a divorce. She started crying, pleading, grabbing my arm. I pulled away. Cry to him. I left the house, didn't sleep there that night. Stayed at a buddy's, filed papers the next Monday. So after I dropped the divorce bomb and walked out, I stayed with my buddy Mike. We've been boys since high school. He didn't even ask questions, just tossed me a spare key and pointed to the fridge. Next morning, she blew up my phone. 20 missed calls, 8 texts in a row, one of those long-ass paragraphs trying to explain herself like she tripped and landed on the guy next door. Didn't respond. She said it was a mistake, said she was lonely because I was working too much. The usual garbage. Jeremy texted too. No joke, this clown actually said, I didn't mean for it to go that far. What does that even mean? You tripped over my fence and fell into my wife? Nah. Miss me with that. I ignored both of them. But I wasn't done. I had copies of everything. The photos, the ring cam footage, and the phone recordings. My lawyer said, if she tries to go for spousal support, we're golden. See, in Arizona, you can fight alimony if there's proof of infidelity. And I had plenty. She didn't see that coming. Week later, we had our first sit-down with lawyers. She walked in acting like she didn't sleep with my neighbor on the same couch where we watched Netflix 2 weeks earlier. She even had the nerve to smile at me. Her lawyer tried to act calm and ask for half the house, partial spousal support, the car, even the damn dog. My lawyer slid the folder across the table. Here's the evidence. He opened it. Jeremy and her in high def, doing what they do best. Time-stamped, dated, audio included. Her face broke. Just blank. Her lawyer looked at her like, are you serious right now? That changed everything. She backed off the alimony, backed off the house, tried to keep the car, but it was in my name. We ended up doing a clean split. I let her take a few things, mostly because I didn't want reminders. She took her clothes, some furniture, and left me with the dog. Thank God. But it still wasn't over. See, the neighborhood found out. Someone saw Jeremy sneaking out of my place while I was out of town. Then a neighbor spotted me walking back in early that morning. People talk, word spreads, and I didn't stop it. In fact, I helped it along. I posted one of the pics, blurred her face, on a private neighborhood group with a simple caption. PSA, if you live next to a married couple, maybe don't sleep with the wife while the husband's at work. Boom. Comments blew up. Couple of the women in the group guessed who it was instantly. One even said, I always knew something was off with Jeremy. Another lady said Tasha once flirted with her husband at a barbecue. 2 days later, Jeremy put his house up for sale. I wish I was kidding. Dude couldn't even look people in the eye anymore. One guy on the block told me Jeremy tried to explain it like it was just a fling. Yeah, okay, Tasha, she tried to do damage control, told her friends I was controlling and emotionally distant. That lasted about a week, until I showed her mutuals the actual videos. Most of them cut her off. She texted me again, said she made a mistake, said she didn't want to lose me, that Jeremy meant nothing. I hit her with one line. If he meant nothing, why'd you risk everything? No reply after that. I wish I could say I just moved on clean, but I'd be lying. For weeks, I kept replaying it in my head. Every time I thought about the backyard, the chair, the robe on the floor, I got pissed all over again. You know what's the worst part? It wasn't even just the cheating. It was how easy it was for her, how normal it seemed for her to lie, how she smiled in my face while another man had his hands on her. I started going to the gym every morning, mostly just to stay busy. Mike pushed me into it. Anger makes good muscle, he said. He wasn't wrong. I got mean with the weights, started sleeping better, eating cleaner, posting on social again. Friends started hitting me up, saying I looked better than ever, and that's when she started watching. I saw her liking old posts, trying to comment on things. One day, she sent me a pic from our first vacation together with, wish we could go back to this. I left her on red. A week later, guess who showed up at the gym? Yup, Tasha. She had never gone to a gym the entire time we were married. She stood near the machines, pretending to work out, but it was obvious. She kept watching me, waiting for me to come talk. I didn't. Instead, I walked past her and nodded like she was a stranger. She looked hurt. Good. 2 days after that, she texted again. Can we just talk? I miss you. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I didn't reply to her text, not immediately. I thought about it for a day. Not because I wanted her back, hell no. But I was curious. I wanted to see if she had the guts to actually sit in front of me and say those lies to my face again. So I told her, fine, 1 coffee, public place, 1 hour. That's it. We met up at this cafe near the highway. Middle of the afternoon, barely any people inside. She looked rough. Not gonna lie, makeup tried to hide it, but I could see the stress, dark circles, nervous hands. That confident, smug woman I married was gone. She sat down across from me, gave me a small smile. I'm sorry. That's how she started. No fake small talk, no excuses. Yet, I didn't say a word. She kept going. Said she missed me. Said the house felt empty. That she thought about us every day. Said she didn't even talk to Jeremy anymore. That it was a moment of weakness, and he took advantage. I cut her off. Tasha, I saw the video. You were laughing. You poured him a drink after. She froze, didn't know what to say to that. So I leaned in and asked, why Jeremy? Why the one guy I see every damn day? She looked down. Because he was there. Not because I love him, not because I was unhappy, just he was there. I let that sink in, then I told her the truth. I brought you here to say one thing. I forgive you. She looked up, eyes wide, but I forgive you, I repeated. Not because you deserve it, but because I'm not carrying this with me anymore. I stood up. She started crying. Right there in the cafe, loud sniffles, shaking hands, asking me to sit back down. I didn't. I walked out, blocked her number, deleted the last photos I had of her. That was it. Fast forward 6 months. Jeremy moved out. Last I heard, he was renting an apartment 1 town over, trying to dodge social stuff. Word followed him, though. Dude doesn't get invited anywhere anymore. Tasha? She stayed in the house. Tried dating again, didn't go well. Some guy she brought around the neighborhood got grilled so hard he left mid-barbecue. As for me, I moved into a new place. Still in the city, but not that neighborhood. I met someone. Her name's Riley. Works in marketing. Didn't even know what Reddit was when I told her about this whole mess. Clean slate. We took things slow. I was open from the start, told her everything. She didn't flinch, didn't look at me like damaged goods, just nodded and said, well, she was an idiot. She wasn't wrong. One night, Riley asked if I'd ever speak to Tasha again. I told her the truth, only if I pass her on the street, and even then, just to say goodbye one last time. She smiled, said, you already did. Some people say getting cheated on breaks you. It didn't break me. It burned down a version of me I didn't need anymore. The people pleaser, the blind loyalist. The guy who ignored his gut. Now, I don't ignore the signs. I don't settle for half-truths, and I sure as hell don't leave the front door open for snakes.